Hello, welcome back to another video in my Learning to Draw series. Today we're going to go over how to do a two-point perspective city drawing. Last time, if you've been following the series in order, I showed you guys how to do details with your one-point perspective city drawing. So now we're going to do 2 points and I'll show you how to get started. This will be a two-part video where I'll show you how to do the fundamental setup at the beginning. Then I'll go over how to do more details in our second part. For this drawing, I recommend using an 11 by 14 size paper. That way you can have some good distance with your vanishing points. But if not, you can definitely do this on a regular sheet of 8 by 10 or size paper. Okay, what we want to do, as always, is connect our two corners. So to do that, we're going to grab a little bit of a larger ruler. I've got a yardstick here. Let's go ahead and connect the two corners, and we want to put an X towards the middle. You guys can't see this, but I'm connecting my one corner here, and on this side I'm connecting this corner. Now what we want to do is grab the perfect middle on the horizon. So let's grab our ruler here. Our triangle. Slide this up until the triangle connects with the dot on the X. Let me straighten that out for you. Now I'm just going all the way across with my ruler, and I have a nice even setup here. Okay, so now we have an even horizon line. The next thing is for us to make an X on either side. That is going to represent our vanishing point. So to do this, what we want to do is, before I had you guys start with your curb, and we'll do the same thing here. So to make our first street curb, we're going to make an intersection. So let's go ahead and grab the middle here, and roughly let's go straight down. I'm trying to make sure this doesn't get crooked. Connect this vanishing point to the middle part of our line. Do the same on this side. Okay, this is going to represent our curb for our sidewalk. Now we need to raise this up a little bit, so we'll just make a point here. Hopefully you can see that on the camera. Connect our vanishing point to that point. Do the same on this side. Now what you want to do is just take this line and go all the way over, and we'll do the same thing on this side. And that represents your first sidewalk tread on both sides. Just place a vertical line on both, and we can finish going back. Turn this a little sideways so maybe you can see this this is helping me. Hopefully you can see this. But what we want to do is have this diagonal line go back. And as it goes back, just like the train tracks that we learned from before, we want the lines to start to get closer because we're going towards the horizon. So as we go towards the horizon, those lines are going to continually get closer and closer. Let's do this with our triangle. Well, I'm going to do this with the triangle so that you can see through the triangle. It'll probably be a little bit easier on the camera. Okay, so I'm aligning this point here with this. Looks like my triangle is not quite long enough, so I'm eyeballing this over here. If you have a longer triangle, I recommend using that. Or I could just switch to my ruler. It's probably a little bit better. I just wanted to keep that see-through part for you. No big deal. So we should be squeezing this more and more as we go farther back. Oh, getting wobbly here. Getting a little impatient, sorry. Should take my time. Okay, so that represents our first sidewalk. Now all we want to do our second one and match it perfect, is to take your ruler. You'll see that your 2 points should align even here. We'll do the same thing. We'll just put a dot, and we'll just keep sliding our ruler up. So what I'm doing is I'm matching this point there. We want to make sure that our ruler is perfectly even across. We can check that with our triangle, as I've shown you with our previous videos. But for the sake of speed, I'm going to kind of just do this by eye. And if I'm going too slow for you, then go ahead and fast forward to the part that you need to get to. Or you can just keep watching me work. You could keep going up, but I would like to just move through just a little bit quicker here for you. Just with my triangle so we can see through. A little too far there. Let's make sure I'm using my ruler to connect to that vanishing point. I think this is where I'm going to improv a little bit and just going to squeeze these in closer and closer. Now, if you're finding that your pencil, you're just getting in a tight space, feel free to use a lead pencil. Okay, I've created my first sidewalk. I'm ready now to make my first building. Grab your ruler, put it on the bottom of the page. Grab your triangle, slide it over. Start with our first building at this corner. Let's make our first building a little on the shorter side. We'll stop there. Connect this and go back very lightly to the vanishing point on both sides. Now, if you remember when we did our boxes, this is more of the same. Line our ruler at the bottom, triangle. Let's decide how far our building's going to be. All right, we have the two faces of our building. Let's go ahead and make the top for this. Take this corner, just like we did with our boxes in our previous exercise. We're going to go. I wouldn't normally draw this all the way back, but just so you can see it, I'll do it. But generally, the less lines you draw will be the better. That way you won't have to erase them later. So I'll just connect this all the way back so you can see it. There's our first building. Let's go ahead and put in another one. Let's put in a taller building. Connect the top. Let's make our next building. Put in another tall building. So as a rule, you can kind of make these as wide as you want, but since we're going back in the distance, they should probably start to squeeze in a bit. They'll help with the illusion of the receding depth. All right, I have these faces done. Let's go ahead and connect them over to my vanishing point. All right, so we'll see this side and this side, but these are connecting, so we're not, even if we were to draw this over, we wouldn't see that. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Okay, let's decide how thick our building's going to be. Let's just use this as our thickness gauge. So we're going to bring this all the way up. We'll just bring this down here. Okay, let's erase these so that they're not in the way of our new buildings when we put them on the left side. Let's do our buildings on the left, just like before. Use your ruler on the bottom and your triangle. Let's put a smaller building here. Like that. Whoops. Oh, that worked. Thought I was off. Okay, so we have a pretty thin roof going on there. Okay, it's pretty small, but it is present. So when we go below the horizon, we see the top of the roofs. When we go above the horizon, we don't see the roof. All right, so let's make our next building. Another tall building. Let's keep going down the line. Might look like I'm going out of order. Just remember that this side has to be the taller side. So decide the height that you want and then bring it back. Let's make a really tall one right back here. Take the top, connect it down. All right, we have the faces done over here. Let's bring them over to this vanishing point. You can bring your buildings pretty far back, but you want to just remember that behind these buildings, there's either another set of buildings or there's a parking lot or something, or space in between. So just try to not go too far back when you do them. Okay, I've run out of room there, so let's grab my ruler. Need to connect this. What we could do here is create another sidewalk. Let's do that. Let's continue a sidewalk over here. Let's line up this, connect it to this corner and go this way. Let's do the same thing here. Let's go all the way down. And to do the treads here, we'll just simply follow the lines that we've done from before. So we line this up, the vanishing point, and then bring it across. Whoops. Give me 1 second while I change pencils. All right, I'm back. Sorry, my pencil before was, the tip wasn't sharp enough. So when I'm doing these treads that are getting close, you want to have a nice sharp pencil. All right, continue the treads down here. All right, let's finish this bottom curb. Let's keep our roller perfectly vertical. My paper is probably a bit on the slant. We'll finish this bottom sidewalk by continuing this bottom line. Let's finish these vertical lines. We'll always stay vertical with them. And we can do the same thing on the other side. I won't finish that, but I'll just get it going. We have that. This will be the width of our street. Watch this corner go down. It's vertical. We'll align the bottom of this curve here. Let's do this with the triangle so you can see it. Now I'm just continuing these treads by aligning these together. This should be the last step for this video. Check this. I have a feeling I might be a little bit off. I'm going to connect my ruler all the way to the vanishing point back there. You're not seeing it. All right, I'm going to stop there. I think you got the point for what I'm doing. Okay, so I have the fundamental buildings drawn for my 2-point perspective drawing. I'll continue with this in part 2, where I'll show you how to do windows, doors, and a few other things. Thanks for watching this. I hope I brought you some value, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks.